30 years. What's the story that you can tell about it? You know, for you having been part and parcel of it in different capacities over that time.
Yes, thanks. It has been a journey since 1996. As you say, we've seen the event change in different ways. When it started off first, the idea, of course, has always been, let's see our Kenyan Sevens players playing at home, because we don't have the Kenyan national team playing as a national team at home. So that was one of the ideas. The second idea was, let's give them opposition just to prepare them for international assignments. So it did start out with European club sides, invitational sides. It moved on to national teams. We've had teams from as far as Argentina and Fiji playing here, and it keeps on changing in different forms. The competitiveness has remained, because it remains a very competitive event. So it does provide a good preparation platform for our national sides. The other thing it does is it gives us a chance to expose more players. So typically we don't normally have, for instance, on the men's teams, we don't only have Shuja, but we also have the Moran side. The big addition to the event has been the women's event, which is now growing in leaps and bounds as well. So for the women as well, we've got the Lionesses and Cubs participating, and that gives us an opportunity to expose between 25 and 30 players to a high-level competition and prepare them for the international competition that they're going to face during the season.
Well, and one of the things that people say is that the Sevens tournament was always associated with Ngongro, the RFUA grounds. But in 2010, the first time it was taken outside that venue, it went to the National Stadium. A couple of editions there before moving on to Kasarani. What was that, driving force to have the tournament change venues from, Ngong Road on to Nyayo later, Kasarani, and now for this year back to Nyayo?
So the Sevens has always been a crowd puller. You've mentioned that I've done the various roles. One of my roles as the tournament was expanding was, like, for instance, on Sunday, everybody had to roll up their sleeves and try and help manage crowds and all that. So we basically overgrew the RFUA ground. In terms of capacity, by 2010, I think maybe by 1 p.m. we stopped ticket sales because the ground was completely full, and that's what informed the decision to move it onto Nyayo Stadium. Nyayo Stadium, it stayed there for 2 years. Even then, by 2012, we had almost outgrown that capacity, and that's what informed the decision then to move it to Kasarani. Kasarani in 2013, the Sevens was held over the Westgate weekend when there was the terrorist attack, but it still drew over 42,000 people into that stadium, and I think that is the biggest attendance we've had to date. After that, the attendance is reduced. We can't really give the reason, but it's like interest in the Sevens game had peaked, and that's what now we're trying to rebuild, to try to pick it up again, build it some more, and get crowds coming towards Sevens rugby.
So you've got Safari Sevens always, now it's at the Nyayo National Stadium. We know after Chan, there was a revised capacity for that stadium. Right now it can be max 22,000. What are the numbers that you would be looking out for this event of the 10th, 11th and the 12th of October per day, to ensure that, one, there is the real experience, but also there is safety for those attending?
We're trying to push for as big a crowd as possible. In terms of numbers, our target is between 10 to 15,000, which would be slightly over 50% the capacity of the stadium. So that's our target, and we're just trying to get the fans and rally them. Let's come and have an experience. As you mentioned, the stadium was refurbished. It's an all-seater now, so everybody gets a seat. And then we're trying to enhance the fan experience as well, in terms of not only on-field entertainment, but off-field entertainment as well. So you can come, spend the day there, watch the games, get alternative entertainment, and we're also encouraging people to bring their children along. So there's going to be a kiddie area where kids can play around, and they can actually be taken care of for 1 or 2 hours while the parents are busy elsewhere.
Well, actually, you talk about that, Shere. How are you trying to zone out the Nya National Stadium so that you have one side could be the competition side, the other one is the village?
Yes. So what we shall do is that the games and competition will be inside the stadium, inside the arena, inside the oval as we know it, and then we'll set aside a part for those who've been at Nyayo Stadium, just close to the post office, which is just outside the playing area, and that will be the fun experience zone.
So let's also now talk about the process of inviting sides, and let's start with the women's competition. We know Kenya will be fielding 2 sides, Lioness, Cubs,
yes.
Other sides that will be coming in, and how that one is going to be set up of that weekend.
Okay, so we're very happy with the response for the women's teams. We usually send out invitations. We start first with the regional teams, so we try to get African sides represented as well before we move a bit wider. So this year we've got Kenya Lionesses and Cubs. Those are the 2 local sides. We've got Uganda, Zimbabwe, and Tunisia from Africa, and then we've got 3 European sides as well. We've got Belgium. The national team is coming. There's an invitational side called Shogun, and the Costa Blanca Barbarians are coming back. The Costa Blanca Barbarians are the defending champions from last year's Safari Sevens.
Well, always a big experience. Format for the women's competition, because we've seen, I think, a couple of editions ago, about 4 or 5 teams. It was round robin eventually, and you could have a playoff. How are you going to have this?
We plan to have 8 teams split into 2 pools. So you'll have round robin within your pool of 4. And then we'll go into quarterfinals, which will be a crossover. So like 1 versus 4 in the other group, 2 versus 3, and the reverse of that for the quarterfinals. So each team will get between 5 and 6 games over the weekends, and we plan to start the games on Friday.
Oh, very interesting. And also Friday nights is something we've seen, and this is for what is known as the Vets tournament. How do you want to engage former players, those who may have opted out of the game for various reasons, work, age, or such that they also feel like they're a part of it?
So there's been a very big interest in the veterans game, and we are getting requests to have a category for that. It will not be international; it will just be local vet sites. But there is interest in that. We're trying to work out some technical aspects on the ground in terms of whether we can play games late into the evening, and once we sort that out, then we'll confirm whether we'll have the vets category or not. But that is not confirmed yet.
So let's talk about the men's competition, because as post-COVID, this tournament at one point, you would have 12 teams, but growing it. What's the number that you are looking at for 2025?
For 2025, we will still look at 12. We did have 10 teams last year, so having 12 this year is a slight growth. Part of why also we can't really expand too much is because the women's games are being played alongside the men's, and it would take a larger number of days to accommodate more teams playing. So in terms of the teams which are so far confirmed, it's in a similar model. We start with regional, and then we reach out wider. So we've got Kenya, Shujaa, and Morans, and then from close to us we've got Reunion, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. And then we moved slightly out. We've got Apache from the UK, we've got Shogun Men, which is a mixed team. It's a composite side. It'll have some English players, some Spanish players. So that's going to be a really good side to watch. And then we've got UK Select and the French Renegades. Typically, the winner of the local 7 circuit is also invited into the Safari 7. So we will have KCB Rugby playing in the Safari 7s as well.
Well, always great to see these club sides coming through. And also, we know that your technical bench, has been doing a lot in the build-up to this to ensure that, the sides are selected not just for this tournament, but going into the next season. First, the local 7 circuit is what has largely determined the selection of Shujaa and Morans. A whole look back at this year's circuit and also the how it's changing the face of 7s as we head to the Safari 7s.
The local 7 circuit was extremely competitive this year. As much as KCB ran away as the winners, winning 4 out of 6 of the legs, they did face very good competition in all the games they played, and very many players put up their hands to say that they feel they're ready for selection into the national team. So from the 7th circuit, a total of 48 players was actually selected, and the coaches have been looking at them for the last 2 weeks, and they've more or less made a decision on who's going to form the Shujaa and the Moran side. So it is not easy. I don't envy their jobs, but it has been very competitive, and we feel very confident that that we've got basically the best players who played in the circuit.
And let's take a consideration into this. The demand, for a high-level performance, and because I think, when the tournament first went in, I think 2010, Kenya. I think were eliminated at the quarterfinals by Samurai, and you could tell this stadium go silent. The expectations that come with donning that Kenya jersey to the people who are in the stands.
Yeah, that expectation is everywhere, I believe. If you're the host team, and like for us, we do play in the World Series, even though we've been moved to the second tier. Then the expectation is that if people come out in numbers to support you, it ought to push you onto winning the event. So the players feel the pressure, the coaches feel that pressure, but ultimately it is sports, and the result of games can go either way.
Well, and also this tournament is also a build-up for the women. November, they're getting into a competition. What's the way forward? Because we know we're going to have the Lionesses, we're also going to have the Cubs, but what's the plan for the next 1 month or so, especially when it comes to the women's game?
For the women, this tournament comes at an ideal time, because they also went through the same process in the 7th circuit. 4 out of 6 legs had a women's division, and they actually went around and picked players and selected players. The Safari 7s, again, is an opportunity for them to try out those players. And it is basically exactly 3 or 4 weeks to the next event. So the idea for them would be, once the Safari 7s is done, that they need to settle down on who is going to play in that Africa 7s, and they just put in intense training for the next 3 weeks and prepare for the Africa 7s.
And this is, looking at the Kenya Lionesses and also Shujaa, towards the end of the previous season, it was a heartbreak moment. You're in LA, this is the one moment you want to move up a tier, you want to stay, in the main series, and then that confounding communication that came through. How has Kenya Rugby adapted to that, and looking at ways to make sure that, yes, the teams can get to the highest level, and also, you know, some of the efforts being made to bring back the series to what it was?
The tournament in Los Angeles, as you say, was a heartbreak for us because both teams felt that they did enough to have been considered for Division One. The fact that the teams were reduced really was not in our hands. So in terms of our targets for last season, we did achieve our targets, which was finished in the top 12. Now what has happened is basically we just have to work much harder and try and get into the top 8. There is a pathway. We play in the 7th Division 2, and then at some point the 7th Division 2 teams will meet the 7th Division 1 teams, and there is where they will select the top 8. So that is what both teams know we've got to do, and that's the plan we're trying to make. The 7th Division 2 starts in the middle of February. So once the Safari 7th is done, then the planning gets intense for the competition for the Division 2.
And this is a big one because we know normally that teams with the reorganization, let me just call it the reorganization of the rugby calendar, because I think when the Safari 7 started, it used to be June, but now it is tied, you know, quite well with the how the 7th circuit was. What's the way to build up, especially for the men, because February and March 2026 is when 7th 2 will be played before they get into what is now known as, you know, the World Championship phase of the series.
So when the Safari 7th was in June, it was actually like a post-season event, and what we found that was most teams would not be willing to come or to travel because their season was over, and the issues of player fatigue and burnout and they were not keen on playing a post-season event. So what we tried to do was position the Safari 7th as a pre-season event. Now, but back in February when we set the date and announced the dates, as I said, our target was to finish in the 7th 1. The HSBC 7th Division 1 will start end of November. So we felt October to November is an ideal preparation period. Teams come to try out their players in October and then dig down and prepare for the beginning of the series. So that was our thinking then. And now since we're not in 7th 1 and in 7th 2, then that's the plan we've got to do. We've got to get opportunities just to prepare the team in advance of that February date.
Well, so there we have it overall. That is 7th, and we know that the Kenya Lionesses playing in November. Good build-up for them, another 3 weeks after the Safari 7s. Key things about the Safari 7s that you would like the public to know. You know, what general housekeeping and, you know, and things that may apply at the Nyayo National Stadium. For example, during CHAN we found out that there were some road closures to allow for the tournament to run effectively. When there's an international match there, the same may apply. Key matters that you're putting into place.
So we're still in conversations with the security agencies on the best way to manage the flow of people and traffic around the area. October 10th is a public holiday, so maybe it may assist with the flow of traffic. And then moving into the weekend is a Saturday and Sunday. We would like as many people to come to the stadium as possible. We are working with some transportation companies and so on, just to try and get to move people to the ground, and if they can avoid using their vehicles, which is always a challenge, that definitely is something we'd encourage. But we do want as many people to come to the ground. We've made sure that there's that fun experience village is well stocked with vendors for food and drink. I've mentioned that there's a kids area, so you can come with your kids for a couple of hours, let them also enjoy the games and the atmosphere. And what we also urge them is, I mean, when Kenyan fans go to the stadium in any country, they are the life of the stadium. So let's try and make the whole of Nyayo Stadium just come alive with people cheering and enjoying rugby.
Well, we always know what Kenyans can do. They created their own corner in Australia. The organizers had to decide, okay, more stands for these people so that they can do that. Now, and let's now get overall at the 2025-2026 calendar for the Kenya Rugby Union. Key things to look out for. I know there's a Kenya Cup, the date around that, the calendar for Simba's Chipu, and that you can wrap that for us.
So most events are yet to be confirmed, but yes, we can look forward to the Kenya Cup beginning in November this year. Just after the Safari Sevens, there's the Impala Floodlight before the Kenya Cup begins. The Africa Women's Sevens in November is another opportunity for rugby. The league runs between November and March, April. So that's the Kenya Cup, and then the Knockout Enterprise will be on. We will have the Rugby Super Series next year. That is an event which we have on and off, but next year it will definitely be on. And then it will be followed by the international season. So the international season will mainly be the Simba's playing. And the Lionesses 15s. Chipu, the event is typically in April, so that is also going to happen at a location to be confirmed.
All right, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thomas Odundo, Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Rugby Union. The Safari Sevens is back, and also there's a calendar after that, Floodlights, Kenya Cup, Enterprise Cup, all that has been lined up and it's one of the events that, we should all be looking forward to at the Nyayo National Stadium. We move away from sport and head to another event where today, it's the commemoration of the International Access to Information Day. And so let us hear from Engineer John Tenui, who is the Principal Secretary for ICT and the digital economy.
Cities. For these commitments to succeed, citizens must have accurate, timely, and actionable environmental information, whether it's in data on pollution, forest cover, climate hazards, or public projects. Access to such information empowers our citizens and our communities to make informed decisions, all institutions accountable, and also participate in protecting our planet. Our ministry, through the State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, and of course working closely with the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication, is driving Kenya's digital superhighway agenda under the bottom-up transformation agenda with the goal of making information truly universal and inclusive. We have made major strides. As a country, we already laid the necessary digital infrastructure to bring the whole country connected. We have a well-connected country to the rest of the world with 8 submarine cables, meaning our people can be able to have enough capacity to connect to the rest of the world. We have built national infrastructure. By end of 2022, we had about 35,000 kilometers built by the private sector and about 25,000 kilometers of fiber built by the public sector. From 2022 to now, we have added additional 24,000 kilometers in ambition to actually have additional 100,000. Of these 24,000 kilometers, 16,000 have been built by the private sector, and government has done 8,000 kilometers. This is in an effort to ensure that every part of our country is connected and make it possible for our citizens to access information. and also access opportunities that are in the digital space. We have also set an ambition to build a digital hub, one in every ward, 1,450 across the country. We have made very good progress on this, starting with our TVET institutions. We've done close to 320 in TVET institutions and community digital hubs. There are about 400 currently ongoing under construction in partnership with the national government, CDF, and also our members of parliament. We are keen to ensure that these digital hubs become centers to empower citizens. We've already concluded recruitment of 290 ICT officers to be posted to this digital hub, which are available to also CHA to use as your last mile of outreach on matters of access to information, and also open to our partners, including Katiba Institute and the others, the Norwegian Embassy, that we can use this resource to make it easy for our citizens to access information and to be also trained on digital skills so that they can navigate comfortably the digital space. On digitization, which is a key enabler to access of information, we have made very significant strides. By end of 2022, government are digitized about 450 services. At that time, we expected that the services available to citizens were about 5,000. But as of today, we have over 22,000 services digitized. This is a great enabler to actually access of information and access to services by our citizens. And we are very proud of our system, the e-Citizen platform. In addition to just the number of services available, we have over 14 million citizens already registered as users on that platform. Every day, we have between 300,000 to 500,000 citizens and users accessing services using that platform. It has enabled ease of engaging government. Revenues collected through that platform now surpasses over 1 trillion shillings within the period it has been established. And even as a country, we are proud of such an innovation because it was started by some of our young innovators. From 2013 to 2022, it was almost like a piloting stage. And from 2023, we took it to commercial basis, and we can see the benefit it has given to our country, and also inspired many other young software developers to see this is an emerging space they can participate. So we have a huge population of our young people who are willing to be partners.
That is Engineer John Tanui, Principal Secretary in the State Department for Information Communications and the Digital Economy, and he's speaking as the country celebrates the International Day for Access to Information. So we'll be taking a short break, and when we get back, we should be joining the function again, and also speaking will be the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Broadcasting, Stephen Isaboke. Let's take a short break.
A grown woman who we took abroad to study, then she decides to get a baby and keep it a secret for God knows how long.
Don't owe you any explanation.
Are you Chris?
Unajua mimi ni nani? If you don't let me go right now, my friend, you are in trouble.
You need to come back. I feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Itisha alafu nilalishwe chini, wacha ikae.
I want to go home.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
I don't trust her one bit.
Lucky, right? Relax.
Nimepotea njia and I don't know where I am.
Kichaka, it's fast and short.
Umesikia sauti?
unaweza jilala kutujui mtoto wako wako wapi.
Sasa hii stress inatoka wapi?
Haki mlevi asikuja hapa na makelele zake.
Mbona kuna makelele huko nje?
Msichana wetu amerudi.
Sisi ndio tunafaa kuja kuulizia maendeleo ya kesi ya mtoto wetu ama ni wewe?
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. And yes, a conversation around Tokyo. What are the lessons learned and what are the reviews to be done? We shall be speaking about that with Kennedy Tanui, who is competitions director at Athletics Kenya. But right now, move over to the Safari Park Hotel, where it is the International Day for Universal Access to Information, and we get back as we hear the remarks of Engineer Jonathan, who is the Principal Secretary, State Department for Information Communications and the Digital Economy.
And see some of the latest technologies that can be used to address environmental issues and urban development. And as we digitize, there are a number of challenges we face. Our data commissioner has elaborated clearly the role our office plays so that as we digitize and become more open government, we do not also compromise on personal data and also privacy of citizens and individuals. We also have another major concern, which is cybersecurity concern. And this is another issue that we are looking at, and at the State Department, we are working with other government agencies to look how we can safeguard this digital space by putting the necessary infrastructure and resources and people to ensure that the digital space is also safe and is trusted for economic development. So we will continue to collaborate together with the CHA to ensure that we make access of information easy and better. We also working with our technology partners. We have many technology partners who are in this country, including Microsoft, who has put a development center here in Kenya, the Africa Development Center, which is part of their global software development, attracted to this country because of our talent, the best talent we have. We have similarly Amazon Web Services, who have put a development center. We have also Apple, who have recently come to this country. So we continue to see global players coming to our country to play very critical role. We have also PPO, business process outsourcing entities. Kenya is becoming a hub of business process outsourcing entities. This year attracted the world's #1 PPO Teleperformance, adding to those who are already in the country and creating opportunities for jobs where Kenyans can access global opportunities from here in Kenya. We are happy also to work with some of the partners like Meta, and we are working on their Llama AI models, and we have identified 5 use cases that we think are priority, and we have selected the first one, which I was showing the Vice Chair about it. It's about transparency in public sector. So this AI tool will be one of the programs which will be working together so that we can unlock government. At times we serve as government, one, we do quite a lot of work and we are unable to communicate to the citizens. This is an area we want to make sure we are open and the citizens can be able to know what programs government are running, what is the impact, what are the actual data and numbers. We have also many citizens who have questions and needs clarification. So this AI tool will be able to help in access of information, and we invite CHA team to work with us as we go now to the implementation, development of that AI tool to improve access of information. In closing, I reaffirm the government's commitment to the right of access to information as a foundation of open government, citizen participation, and sustainable development. Let us work together to make information the lifeblood of our democracy, an enabler of environmental stewardship, and a driver of inclusive prosperity. As we say in our digital transformation work, Kenya is not just consuming technology, we are creating it, exporting it, and shaping the future. Let us do the same with information, open, trusted, and accessible to all. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Engineer, our chief guest.
Who is Principal Secretary, State Department for Information, Communications and the Digital Economy. And he was speaking at this event that has to commemorate the International Day for Universal Access to Information. And the theme for this year's conference is Access to Environmental Information in the Digital Age. And looking at it, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Broadcasting, Stephen Isaboke, is expected also to be giving his keynote address that is at that event. So that is one just part of the news cycle that we are covering, and also happening at the moment is that Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki is chairing the Intergovernmental Budgetary and Economic Committee meeting, and this is at the current residence. The meeting is being held behind closed doors, so we should be getting more on that, and that's our reporter at that event is Giverson Minor. We'll be joined by Kenny Tanuva, Athletics Kenya, in just a short while to recap Tokyo 2025. But at the moment, the story of legendary WRC driver Michelle Mutor.
There are names which instantly epitomise the true spirit of a sport. In the WRC, that name is the Safari Rally. A return to Africa for the first time in almost 20 years. Presents this generation the opportunity to forever write their names into history alongside the greatest drivers of all time.
The world of motorsports used to be dominated by men before women broke the barriers to excel at it. Michelle Muton was the first female driver to win a major championship in rallying before she retired after inspiring so many to join suit. Backed by her father, Michelle started as a co-driver like so many others to win the national rally in Alfa and Renault A1110 while recording consistent results at home. She was signed by Audi Sport to win the 1981 Rally San Simo to record 2 more wins for them consistently. Her first World Rally Championship was in 1973 in Monte Carlo after switching to driving, co-driven by Jean Atalbi. A year later, she was crowned the French and European Ladies Champion. She competed in the Kenyan WRC Rally 2 with a top 4 placing and recalls with nostalgia how they navigated the treacherous terrains.
You know, the best memory, Safari Rally has always been a very difficult event and very challenging marathon, and of course it's always difficult condition. But when you are able to go through all these difficulties, there is a satisfaction that is incredible. And to drive here, for me, Kenya is, the freedom of driving middle of the bushes and this fantastic view that we have all the time. And as a driver, it's a kind of freedom that I love, really.
Michelle took part in 20 rallies with 4 wins and 9 podium finishes, and also had a brief stint with a Peugeot from 1986 to win the German Rally Championship. She retired after the Group B rally cars were barred from competing, but she had nevertheless made her mark. She organized some rallies before she became the first president of the FIA Women in Motorsports Commission in 2010, where she's revered up to date. Her achievements have seen her being knighted with the Legion of Honor as well as awarded the FIA Lifetime Achievement Award. The Queen of Speed is unfazed by all that, but never misses an opportunity to watch and inspire the current generation into action, as seen in a recent visit in Kenya to promote the WRC Safari Rally Kenya.
Big country, but concentrate on the road. This isn't any normal safari experience. No time for sightseeing for the WRC stars.
I am very, very pleased to be here with all of you. You know, Kenya is one of my favorite events, and now that I have a lot of time in front of me, it was fantastic to be able to join you here and to see the rally a little bit different, a little bit from outside. And everybody is working very well. All the women you have now in the organization, it's really great to see. I can see the evolution, and I am very pleased with that.
Rallying in modern times has really changed in terms of the cars they use, course, rules, but the passion is not lost and remains the same since she graced the course with excellent results.
Oh, that's a replay of Greensmith going off. Finding the road again, though, it seems.
Look how slippy it is. Where is the road? Oh, there.
There.
Just look at the lack of grip in the corners.
I know all the stage, of course, because by the past I have been going through all of them. Yeah, they are challenging, especially when it's raining and it's a difficult condition. But this is what I call a very good safari rally. You know, it's an exciting moment. It's difficult, it's hard, it's a difficult condition, but it should stay like this, and the safari rally for me really deserves its place in the calendar.
Michelle Newton is no doubt the most successful female driver in rallying to inspire so many around the world to take up the mantle, including in Kenya, setting the bar for some of them like the pioneers who include Michelle Van Tongran and Safina Khan, the late Orie Rogo Manduli, the current generation of Tuta Miyonki, Lineta Yuko, Pauline Shegu, Tash Tundo to test their skills with excellent results.
You are all trying to go through and challenging everything, and good continuation to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Echoes of a glorious past. Following in the tracks of giants, superstars who've left their mark on the plains of Africa.
That's the story of the ace, Michelle Muto. A story is told about a Kenyan journalist who once asked her a question. Her response still remains legendary to this day. Story for another day. But right now, let's get the story of the ace. It's Selena Williams as we wait for Kennedy Tenui to join us via Zoom.
Serena Williams. She is one of the greatest women tennis players of all time, who ushered in a new era in the world of tennis with her competitive spirit, athleticism, fashion trends, and most important, her triumphs on the court, where she became a dominant figure. Serena Williams started playing tennis thanks to her dad, Richard Williams, who decided to prove to the world that it was possible to break the barrier through her daughters, Serena and Venus, and actually predicted the younger Serena will outclass her older sister. And so it came to pass, as Williams' triumphs and losses motivated her to work harder and became better, whether they joined forces or played each other in the singles. Serena turned professional in 1995 to win her first major singles title, the US Open in 1999, before other triumphs in 2002, 2008, 2012, 2013 and 2014. She also dominated the French and Australian Open from 2002 and 2003, where she met her sister Venus in the final to achieve a career Grand Slam when she won all the 4 major titles. She won the French Open 3 times and the Australian Open 7 times, including 2017 when she won her 23rd major singles title to surpass Steph Graf's Open-era record, one short of all-time great Margaret McCourt, whose mark stands at 24.
And Serena smashes Steffi's record. It's number 23. An iconic number. And like Michael Jordan, she's in rare air. The sisters embrace. They share a moment.
She won the Wimbledon 7 times and the Olympic medal in 2012 when she became the first tennis player to achieve a career Grand Slam in both singles and doubles when she paired with her sister Venus to win the Olympic doubles too. The 4 times Lahore Sportsman of the Year won 8 out of 13 singles majors in a row in 2014 and 2015 to achieve another Serena career Grand Slam and won 14 major women's doubles with her sister Venus, whom she holds an all-time joint record with.
It's Serena Williams again, 14 years after that first victory here. Grand Slam number 22. Irresistible, majestic. And the judgment of history will surely be that she was in a class of her own.
Serena, who's faced a lot of criticism and racism as she dared to dream, also represented the United States of America in the Fed Cup and Hopman Cup, which they won